we've made an offer to him that makes him the highest paid player ever to play that position in the NFL. And coincidentally, it's the highest contract in the Patriots franchise history. So we're glad we drafted him, and he's developed here, and we hope he'll be with us for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows what Mr. Kraft has done. A ton of respect for Mr. Kraft and what he's done with this franchise, and you know, it's just something we don't want to handle to the media. You know, I keep that with the team and my team, and go on about that.
Oh, they're going back and forth. Look at this tweet from Shefty, the highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL on a per year basis. Keegs, I mean, these are big numbers here. You eat this stuff up, my friend. I remember when Sauce Gardner was highest paid for 5 minutes, Stingley for 5 minutes, J.C. Hornworth. I mean, this stuff just goes and goes and goes. Denzel Ward for now, but we know Witherspoon, Gonzo, right?
One of those guys for 5 minutes, then the other guy. He'll be the highest paid corner. It's just who is willing to sign the contract first.
It's like a rotating door, you're telling me.
Somebody's getting 32, somebody's getting 32.1. It's how it goes.
How come we couldn't be more athletic, Keith?
I know.
Damn it, man.
Even if I was just huge and strong, I wish I could have played left guard. That's all I'm asking for.
Oh, like Will Campbell? Oh, shots fired. Oh. All right, let's bring him in. Alex Barth from 98.5, The Hub, to talk Patriots with us. You saw it there, a little back and forth in the media, my friend. Welcome back to the program. Your thoughts on Kraft saying we're going to take care of him and Gonzo saying, where's the money, honey?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Obviously, the big story of camp so far, and when Robert Kraft said that in the moment, the timeline of it was funny because Mike Vrabel spoke that morning, was asked about Gabe Akis, said he couldn't give, a concrete update, and then Gabe Akis signed 30 minutes later. So then Kraft says that, and you're like, are they going to do this to us again? So in the moment, it was encouraging, but now it's been a couple days, obviously no contract, and that is not as much what you want to see, as Gonzalez mentioned to it. These players do not want to litigate these contracts in the media. They want it done behind closed doors, and they want to get taken care of. So I don't have any doubt still. I still feel confident they will get a deal done. I think the Patriots have positioned themselves under Elliott Wolf as a draft and develop team. Christian Gonzalez was the first kind of pick of that regime, and he's obviously panned out very well. So if you're going to be a draft and develop team, this is the kind of guy you got to pay. But obviously a little rocky here. Nothing too much to worry about, but a little rocky before we get there. It did not sound like Gonzalez loved that Robert Kraft took that offer public.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask, because I think when I first heard what Robert Kraft had to say during the Patriots event was, ooh, I wonder if Christian Gonzalez, when he goes back to his locker, if he's going to enjoy that Robert Kraft just made that thing public. And beyond that, Robert Kraft choosing to say highest paid player in Patriots history, but not really talking about guaranteed money or anything like that. Because if they want to make him the highest paid corner in NFL history, they're going to have to essentially double the commitment that they made to Milton Williams, making him the highest paid player in franchise history. So your read on the way Robert Kraft went about this and how Christian Gonzalez is going to take it.
I mean, these contracts always get spun, whether it's the owners, whether it's the agents, whichever side of it is. They always get spun a certain way. You can be the highest paid player in history by any number of different metrics, like that contract last night to Denzel Ward that you guys were just talking about, highest paid corner in NFL history by AAV, barely, but it's only a 2-year deal. It's worth 60-something million, 50-something guaranteed. You've had guys that have signed $100 million contracts at the cornerback position, and the guaranteed money changes and this and that. So I don't think Robert Kraft would come out and say that if they didn't have some sort of metric by which Gonzalez would be the highest paid corner in NFL history. The question is, which Kraft obviously didn't get into, and what the negotiation probably hinges on, is by what metric and by how much is he breaking the record. That's the other thing here, too. With Ward signing that contract last night, AAV most often gets used as this record-breaking contract thing. So we've gone from 30 to 30.1. So is the number 30.2? Is it 32? Is it more in excess of 32? You saw in that graphic, J.C. Horn was at 25, then it jumps to 30. Are Gonzalez and Witherspoon trying to really reset the market? So that's the great unknown here. Like, both of them are gonna get record-breaking contracts. By what metric and by how much do they set the record is ultimately the question.
Does any of it, do you think, have to do with Devon Witherspoon and the number that he could get, and does that set the market for what Gonzalez could be looking at, because they do have the same agent?
Oh, yeah. And whether they have the same agent or not, and it's a good point, and it definitely adds to the dynamic at play here, but whoever signs second is getting more money.
Right.
Like, that's just what's going to happen. So you don't want to rush if you're the player, and Gonzalez may be feeling like, well, okay, this is what the Patriots offer me, but if the Seahawks offer Witherspoon more and he takes that, well, then the Patriots have to offer me more, so I'll wait. Maybe Witherspoon's doing the same thing. Maybe he doesn't have his offer yet. Albert Breer did write a couple weeks ago that the Seahawks pending sale might make Seattle a little more urgent to get a deal done.
Yeah.
He also and there's been multiple reports that Witherspoon is expected to sign first. And maybe if Gonzalez knows that, and that's where the agent thing comes in, he just knows, like, nope, they got to get a deal done with him. I'm going to let him get his and see the dollar amount. Obviously, there's the flip side of it, too, where if he gets less than Gonzalez thinks, then maybe he ends up shortchanging himself. But yeah, the Witherspoon factor is a huge part of it. I don't think you can say the Patriots are behind schedule as long as Witherspoon remains unsigned. If and when Witherspoon signs, then that clock starts, and then that should be a relatively quick clock.
Alex, the reason why I don't think this is a story is because you have to pay these guys in the league, right? You've seen others. We just showed you that list. They might not be on the team 2 years after they sign that deal. So I don't think it's a story. Like, I think he's going to get the money no matter what. But I ask you this. Tomorrow is the first day of pads. You guys know how it works, right? You're down at the playground. This guy looks good. Once you put that helmet and pads on, things change. Is Christian Gonzalez going to be on the field tomorrow in full pads?
He better not.
He said he was asked about that. He said, I'll be here. So
well,
physically, he's not going to hold out.
Too.
He better not.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, he's not going to hold out. Guys don't hold out anymore. The fines are too excessive. You do the hold in, which is, my hamstring's kind of tight.
Yeah.
I'll be out there in a sweatshirt and shorts. So he's been a full participant to this point. You know, Mike Vrabel had talked about he wants to be a captain. This is kind of, I think his teammates have really appreciated that he's been fully involved as this is going on. So we'll see. If it's like minicamp, he did some stuff. He did kind of the walkthrough periods and the individuals. He just didn't do the full speed team. I do wonder if it's that. So he's not a full hold in, but now you have, like, again, they keep making it more and more on the margin. But Joe, I think it's a story if he's not out there, because like you said, ultimately I believe he's going to get paid. These guys get paid in the NFL. But if he starts missing time in camp and it impacts his ability to be ready for the regular season, well, now it's a story because they need him. He's a very important player for them if they want to play the way they want to play defensively. Last year, now this was due to injury, but he missed a chunk of camp due to injury. And it took him a game or two in the regular season to really get going. Obviously, Seattle out of the gate, you need him against Jackson Smith and Jiggy. He's the best player in that Super Bowl. So in that sense, it's a story. Does this drag on to the point where it impacts his ability to get ready for the regular season? But I do think he gets paid.
Enough of this 98.5 bromance crap. Of course it's a story. I'll ask the question since Joe didn't do it. Put the number on it, okay? I'm thinking Witherspoon, 32, and then Gonzo's number's 33. Do you agree with that? And also, can the Patriots just end this? Who cares about playing the game of chicken? Well, you get paid first. No, you get paid first. No, you get paid. Screw that. What's the number to get this done tonight? Is it 34? Like, tell me, give me numbers here. What does this look like?
If you want to get it done before Witherspoon and Gonzalez is inclined to wait, then you're probably looking it into the 33, 34. I think Witherspoon's number is probably going to be 32. I don't think it goes 32 to 33. Last year it was 30 to 30.1.
Okay.
I wonder if there's a little bit of bragging rights over the amount of increase. Does it go 32 to 32.125 or something?
Right. Okay. All right. I could live with that. So then I guess in that answer, the number to get it done now would be like 32, right? 33.
What's the guarantee, please?
Well, yeah, then you get into that whole thing, and I think that comes out, 32 comes out to 128 total.
$400 million.
You're making me do math on the air here, so double check these numbers if you run with them, but like, 100-ish million, something like that.
Oh,
really
wow. Yeah, well, I mean, the Patriots love giving those kind of deals, let me tell you.
That's a big number, dude.
$100 million guaranteed?
I mean, I mentioned it earlier when I talked about Milton Williams.
That's a big
$51 million guaranteed. That's the most they've ever, committed
So
to
you're
a player.
double. Yeah, you said double.
Right, yeah, they're going to
Match
have to
that.
double that.
Yeah.
Oh, get ready for a Patriots deal on this one, guys.
So
And what I mean
Well,
by
and
a
this is the
Patriots
other
deal,
reason-
a Patriots deal means you play, we pay. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed.
I think things have changed a little bit recently.
Well, this is the other reason, and I think things have changed too, but this is part of the reason I think it's a story. This is kind of, in some ways, maybe test run isn't the best word, but like, we're doing this all again next year with Drake May, right?
Yeah, but that's easier, right, Alex? Like, I don't know.
Drake May will sign in July or June. He'll sign as soon as.
And plus, he's humble and will probably take less.
Well, is his agent humble?
That's actually true.
Right, yeah, we'll see.
Whatever
Will
his
he do
agent
the Tom Brady?
says.
He might.
We'll see if that little young gun from the South thing plays when we're talking contract.
Alex.
But it is going to be the biggest contract in NFL history, period, full stop. By probably just about every metric.
Alex, is Gonzo worth this? I mean, if the team does it, do you is there any trepidation with you where you're like, I could see why maybe the Pats are a little hezzy here, or do you think just give them the $100 million and let's move on?
No trepidation. Yes, he's worth it.
Okay.
Especially quarterback's still on the rookie contract for a little bit here, and as they're trying to get back to the Super Bowl, there's concerns about their ability to get after the quarterback. Remember last year in the playoffs how blitz happy they were, and it worked, and it was great. The reason you can blitz that much is you have a guy that you can say he's going to go over here and take away your top receiver, and we're going to play the rest of the game 10-on-10 over here. And being able to do that, whether it was Ty Law, whether it was Darrelle Revis, whether it was Stephon Gilmore, any other team that's had one of these lockdown corners, the Broncos with Surtain, right? That 10-on-10 thing is such an advantage to the defense. So if you want to continue to blitz like that and you want to continue to play aggressive defensively, having a guy that you can put on an island and forget about is massive. And the reality is there's, 5 or 6 of those guys in the league. Maybe, I don't know if you have a number, Keenan, but yes, for that reason alone, he's worth it. And then I think he has kind of emerged as a leader as well. And I think his kind of leadership is good for where this team is going. You're not going to give him $128 million because he's a good leader, but it's another reason to get, if the guy was a problem, you might think twice about it and say, do we want to commit this kind of money to this kind of player? I heard you guys talking about Rafael Devers before the break. Not remotely the case with Christian Gonzalez from everything we've seen.
Okay.
Well, I mean, whether they like it or not, they built a defense around needing him in the spot that he's in. It's just the way things are. So unless you're willing to make wholesale changes, you got to pay the guy. I want to switch to the other side of the ball because I think what is actually the biggest story in camp is Kayshon Boutte. And the way everybody down there has been talking about him, so I have two. I want to start with where you're at on what you've seen from Kayshon Boutte and whether or not it's an undoubted fact that he's going to make this team and they're going to take him off the trade market.
So you're saying, is that the situation?
Yeah, are they taking him off or are they saying he's a top 3 wide receiver, we're keeping him here?
I mean, I don't think you ever take him off truly, right? If somebody, and I'm being kind of hyperbolic here, but if somebody's going to give you back the first you gave up for A.J. Brown, you probably do that at that point. But no, the idea that, all right, well, if you can get a 5th for him, that's not a bad deal. I think that's out the window, especially if he continues to perform the way he has. He hasn't just been the best receiver. He's been the best offensive player and arguably the best player, period, in all of camp, except for Gonzalez, honestly. So, and I think the chemistry with Drake May is a big part of that, especially when you look at he's still building that rapport with A.J. Brown. He's still building that rapport with Romeo Doubs, a lot of the new guys, even the rookie tight end, Eli Raridon. So it's a matter of how do you get enough snaps to keep everybody happy? How do you just schematically work it where everybody gets on the field? We've seen Kayshon Boutte in the slot a little bit more than in the past. I don't think that's something he's going to major in, but again, it's a way to get him those snaps. Mike Vrabel, Drake May, both talked about playing faster, playing with more tempo. That's just going to create more plays per game, more plays per season. The Patriots were 18th in the NFL in total plays run last year, 28th in seconds per play, essentially their offensive pace of snapping the ball. So those numbers can go up, even if that creates 5 more plays a game. I think that's or 10 more plays a game. I think that's 70-something plays over the course of a season. Again, don't make me do math on the air, but yeah, I do think just in those 4 days, the way he's looked and the confidence Drake May has in him, it would be really, really hard to justify parting with him. And Scott Zolak, who I do a practice recap video with every day, has said this. You ask Drake May, 3rd and 8, who do you want in the huddle? Kayshon Boutte, it feels like it's going to be one of the first names out of his mouth, if not the first name, him and Hunter Henry, right? So how do you justify moving on from a guy like that?
That's totally fair, but I have been workshopping a take, and I haven't been down there. Me and you would have been hanging out if I was, but
we got to get you down there one day for sure.
Thank you.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. We've got irons in the fire, Barthy. But looking at who's been featured early on, a lot of Kayshon Boutte, and from what I've heard, Demario Douglas actually out there more often than you would have thought.
Starting slot receiver right now.
Is there a piece of, okay, these two guys know the offense, they've been here, let's put them out there and give A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs examples of what they need to be doing when they fully grasp this offense? Or have they actually worked their way into the rotation and into the offense this early in camp?
No, I think this is real because there hasn't been any drop-off in snaps for A.J. Brown or Romeo Doubs. Like when they were in 12 personnel, when they have 2 wide receivers, it's some combination of A.J. Brown with Romeo Doubs or Kayshon Boutte. That's the base right now. When they go into 11, it's Pop Douglas on the field in the slot and then 2 of those other guys. Mac Hollins is going to factor in too. I think he's kind of in that Reggie Gilliam, Morgan Moses veteran rest category.
Tight end Mac Hollins.
Kind of. That's been the group. Like it's not. It doesn't look like they're easing A.J. Brown or Romeo Doubs in or anything like that.
All right.
Well, when it comes to A.J. Brown and Drake May, from what we've heard reported, a little shaky. Drake May was 3 for 10 on targets to A.J. Brown. Do you have any concerns, Alex, about the chemistry between A.J. Brown and Drake May?
I wouldn't say I have any concerns. I think it's something to watch. Brian Hines of Pat's Pulpit pointed out these numbers. So yesterday was the 4th day of camp. Drake May had 2 misses to A.J. Brown's in 7s and then hit him on some quick hitters in 11s. Go back a year ago, 4th day of camp, Drake May was inaccurate throwing to Stephon Diggs in 7-on-7, but then got some quick hitters with him in 11s, and it kind of built from there. It was a little slow going with Stephon Diggs last year. It's been slow going with Romeo Doubs. It's been a little slow going with some of the other new pass catchers, Eli Raritan. So right now I chalk it up to it's the first few days of camp. They got to get on the same page. I think the pads coming on with A.J. Brown being such a physical receiver will help expedite getting that chemistry down. And I look at, once you get into those joint practices with the Colts and the Eagles, are they on the same page by then? If it still looks shaky by then, we can call it a worry. Right now, to me, it's just something I'm watching.
Alex, 2-part question. It's reported that the Patriots have interest in defensive tackle Vita Vea. He has a 1-year deal left remaining. The Patriots seem to be interested. Would that help them maybe potentially put Milton Williams outside? That would help their pass rush. And just another question, we've been going around here, but if there's one player outside of Drake May that the Patriots couldn't lose, who is that player?
Okay, so first off on Vita Vea, I mean, look, he'd be a great addition. I don't think he's somebody they need to add. If you're going to give up, you're going to have to give up premium assets to get him. You're probably going to have to pay him. He's on a 1-year deal. He's 31 years old. Do you want to give that guy an extension when you're paying Gonzalez? You're going to have to pay Drake May. If he'd come for 1 year, I'd be more attuned to it. On the other side, too, whatever that premium asset is that you're going to have to give up, is there an edge rusher you can find that you can give up the same thing? And maybe that guy's not quite as good as Vita Vea, but he's a good player, and it's a bigger position of need. So not out on Vita Vea. I just don't think it's not something I'd pound the table for. Like, if you can get him easy, fine. I don't think they need to go out of their way. There's other positions they should be focusing on. One player they can't afford to lose besides Drake May, honestly, it's probably Christian Gonzalez. They don't have a ton of depth at corner. We already talked about how important he is to their defensive scheme. Carlton Davis left practice early yesterday. Charles Woods was the next man up, who was like their 4th corner last year. Then he got hurt. It's Kendall Vildor, who they signed on a near minimum money contract. Right. It drops off pretty quickly. So, some people might say A.J. Brown.
I said Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry's another good one. Because, again, I think when you do that, like not best player, but just like most important, can't afford to lose, some of the factor is who's behind them and what's the depth. So with A.J. Brown, it would be a big loss. Don't get me wrong. They still have pretty good wide receiver depth. Like, I think they could get by. I actually really like what Eli Raritan's done in camp. I think they might be okay. He'd still be a significant loss. We haven't even seen Raritan as a blocker, I guess. But their starting corners are unbelievable. Gonzalez, Davis, Jones, especially you factor in the safeties, might be the best secondary in football. At corner, it gets really thin once you get past the starters.
I said Will Campbell, and everyone laughed me off set. Your thoughts on that?
No, it's not a bad answer. It's not a bad answer. Like, yes, they used a first-round pick on Caleb Lum, but we don't know what he is, and they don't have a ton of tackle depth beyond that. I feel better about Caleb Lomu than I do about Charles Woods or Kendall Vildor, so I'd still answer Gonzalez, but like he would be on that short list for sure.
Thank you, Alex Barth. We have to have you more often because you agree with me. We
Anytime.
appreciate you,
Tucker
brother.
could play left tackle.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alex.
All right, last word on this Gonzalez thing. Is there any point where you're going to be like, oh, no, this is not going well? Like, what has to happen? Witherspoon signs, and then it keeps delaying. What's a point where we need to, because you guys are real calm about the Gonzalez thing. What's the point when you hit the panic button?
I
What
think
needs
it's
to
that.
happen?
I think it's if Witherspoon signs and then it continues on and
And it
Robert
keeps-
Kraft is still making very public
okay,
statements like
okay.
this, then Christian Gonzalez is like, wait a minute, this is not true, or I don't like this
So
being
it's
out in public.
timeline.
Yes.
Once Witherspoon signs, assuming he's first, it's the time.
You have a week.
Okay.
You have a
Yes.
week after Witherspoon signs, and then I'm going to start getting pissed.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Already?
Oh.
Panic?
Tomorrow's Pads Day, baby. Right?
Oh,
And listen,
good point.
my whole life, I've always watched guys who like to move without the pads.
Yeah.
And then once you get hit by a big boy,
Yeah.
and you get back up. And tomorrow, I'm ready to. Oh, A.J. Brown's getting outbeat by this guy and that guy. Wait until the
Put the
pads
pads
come on tomorrow, baby.
Six
Just
months-
like Will Campbell.
Right.
Tomorrow, if he starts pushing guys around, it's because he's gotten a lot better.
All right, 617-582-CHAT. Get in here and talk Pats with us. When we come back, we're going to pivot, see what I did there, to the Celtics because the Celtics built the 76ers. You're welcome, Philly, you losers. But wait till you hear who the Celtics wanted all along. We'll tell you next on Boston Has Entered the Chat.